God calls fathers and then grandfathers to engage in a lifetime of instruction. And they're very specific things that God has charged me in His holy word to teach to my children and my grandchildren. So that's what I'm trying to do, in the avenues that I have. The primary role is instruction.
How many grandchildren do you have right
now? I have 16. I'm counting 2 that are still in the womb, though.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I think it all goes back to the foundation, and that is that the way I understand the reason God created me is that if I have children and grandchildren, then I ought to devote energy to their instruction. Moses in Deuteronomy 6 says, "You, your son, and your grandson, all the days of your life." And what's the foundation of it? Your love. Love the Lord your God. The foundation of my instruction for my children, my grandchildren, is love. It's my own love genuinely before God. That is the heart of it all. So everything ought to be an overflow of that love. At the same time, you have a really distinctive, clear passage in Psalm 78 that gives you details on what you should teach your children. It gives you a roadmap, really. And so I'm trying to incorporate that in my teaching. And I'll just read it. I'll just read it to you. He says that fathers, of course, should not hide the sayings of God from their children, telling the generation to come the praises of the Lord and His strength and His wonderful works that He has done. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm buying books on animals and mountains and volcanoes. I'm trying to tell my grandchildren about the wondrous works of God in the world. I want them to see nature and creation. I'm talking to them about eagles and osprey and fish and mountains and trees and lakes and rivers and the ocean. I'm talking to them about stuff like that. My library on the natural world is growing dramatically, and I'll probably end up spending some serious money on these books. I love the picture books. I sit down with them and I show them the pictures and we talk about them. I take them outside. Nature is big for me. I want them to see the parables of the kingdom of heaven in nature. So on a practical level, I'm really focused on nature. Like, I made a list of all the animals that frequent the place that I live. The birds that fly over, the fish that are in the lake, stuff like that. The land animals that walk around. And, they're deer and badgers, they're beavers, back in the swamp behind our house. So I'm just talking about the beauty of the Lord, the glorious things that He's done in nature. And then there are the things that He's done in history. And so I want to talk about that. But, I'm trying to spend time with them doing that. I'm teaching my grandchildren who are far away, 3,000 miles away, on Skype. I'm teaching them the book of Proverbs. We're memorizing the book of Proverbs. So there they are, in a line, 3 of the oldest ones, and I'm helping them memorize the book of Proverbs beginning in chapter 1. And I do it just the way I did my children. I'll say a phrase, they repeat it 10 times, and we keep on going. That's been a lot of fun. I've been surprised at how helpful that's been to keep us connected. It's been fun. You're dealing with all these distinctive words. You're helping them understand words like enigma. You have a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old, and what's an enigma? What's a riddle? We're just having a lot of fun doing that. So Skype has helped. I don't think technology is the final answer, but it sure can help. I want them to know how good God is. I want them to see Jesus Christ as the very best, tenderest, most powerful, most helpful shepherd who loves them, you know. So I want them to set their hope in God. So I want to talk to them about how beautiful God is. That's my overarching, super duper number one objective with my grandchildren.